Good afternoon to everyone. I am Dr. Rohini, working as an Ayurvedic medical officer at Rural Hospital Talupadu, Mannar. The title today I am going to present is Demonstrate Preliminary Anti-Fungal Activity of Siddha Preparation.
Your slide are not.
Background is Candida species are common oral colonizer with carriage rate up to 74% in healthy individuals. Candida albicans a type of yeast and it's a fungus. But Candida albicans is the most prevalent species causing oral candidiasis accounting for over 80% of cases. According to the available published data on oral disease in Sri Lanka, the occurrence of common oral diseases such as oral ulcer and periodontal disease is widespread. Oral disease in traditional Siddha medicine, Sirorohangal, and appear as Vairogangal, kind of ulcer that affects the surface of mouth and the tongue, and it can invade to the inner layer of mouth tissue. In Siddha system, Vairohangal related to oral disease, Vaipungal referred to oral ulcer. Oral ulcer were treated with herbal mouthwash such as Padiharanir, Panjatvarpi Kashayam and Masikainir. Objectives are to demonstrate in vitro antifungal activity of herbal mouthwashes such as Padiharanir, Panjatvarpi Kashayam and Masikainir on Candida albicans. To signify that the herbal mouthwashes could be a better alternative according to the standard drug ketoconazole. The use of natural products as medicines had been described throughout history, still being unidentified. Medicinal plants contain several phytochemicals such as flavonoids, alkaloids, tannins, and terpenoids, which possess antimicrobial and antioxidant properties. There is not enough known studies regarding antifungal activity of Padiharanir, Panjatvarpi Kashayam, and Masikainir against certain oral ulcer-causing pathogens. These are the clinical presentations of oral diseases. Let's move on methodology. Antifungal activity of Padiharanir, Panjatvarpi Kashayam, and Masikainir were determined initially by well diffusion method against Candida albicans. The antimicrobial properties of 3 herbal mouthwashes, positive control, tested against Candida albicans. Further, 30 clinical isolates representing each standard organism were included in the study. Ketoconazole is a positive control. Each experiment were done in duplicate and repeated thrice. Zone of inhibition were measured in millimeter. The data obtained from the study was compiled, tabulated, and subjected to statistical analysis. This is the preparation method of 3 mouthwashes. Padiharanir has terminale, cebula, and alum salt. Panjatvarpi Kashayam, barks of Syzygium cumini, Ficus bengalensis, Ficus religiosa, Ficus carica, and Ficus virensis. Mascanet has only one ingredient, Quercus infectoria. Ingredients of the herbal raw materials were botanically certified by the National Herbarium, Department of National Botanical Herbal Garden, Peridenia, and PGIS, University of Peridenia. 1 part of each grounded powder were mixed with 16 parts of distilled water separately, boiled the preparation, and reduced the volume to 60 milliliter. Organism and culture preparation. Pathogenic strain Candida albicans was obtained from culture collection of the Division of Microbiology, Faculty of Dental Sciences, University of Perugia. Pathogenic strains were subcultured and used throughout preliminary study. Antimicrobial susceptibility assay, preparation of microbial inocula for the study. Microbial culture was streaked on culture media. Incubate at 37 degrees Celsius overnight. A loopful and isolated colony smear on the inner wall of sterile tube containing 10 milliliters of normal saline. Tube was capped and vertex. The turbidity of broth culture was made similar to the McFarlane standard solution 0.5. ERGA well diffusion assay for evaluating herbal mouthwashes. Prepare Mullahinden ERGA culture plate. 3 milliliters of prepared microbial inocula were pipetted onto ERGA surface. Remaining broth culture were pipetted out from the plate. Allow to dry for 3 to 5 minutes. 9 milliliter diameter well were cut on ERGA. Well was sealed with molten bacteriological ERGA. 185 ml of each herbal preparation were loaded into well. Incubate overnight aerobically at 73 degrees Celsius. Let's move on to results and discussion. The inhibition zone of herbal mouthwash preparation, Padikara Panjatharpi Kashayam Masika so above. The comparison of interspecies variation of zone diameter of 30 clinical isolation in Candida albicans as shown above picture. Initially, the results showed the Padiharanate had great effect on Candida albicans and showed significantly larger zone. It reveals that Padiharanate able to inhibit Candida growth in oral cavity. Later, the results showed the Padiharanate had same effect with positive control on Candida albicans and showed same or less inhibition zone. However, Panchadvarti Kashayam and Masika failed to give significantly larger zone against tested oral ulcer-causing pathogen. The previous studies show alum salt are effective against various fungi, including Candida albicans and dermatophytes, making it a potential components in antifungal application and a cost-effective alternative to some conventional treatments. Alum salt, such as potassium aluminum sulfate, exhibit antifungal activity through mechanisms that include inhibiting fungal growth, disrupting cell structure, and drying out the surface to create an environment where fungi cannot thrive. Terminally tabula contains various chemical constituents including tannin, cebulic acid, cebulic acid, gallic acid, and ellagic acid, flavonoids, phenolic acids, and triterpenoids. These compounds are responsible for its antifungal activity, which has been demonstrated against fungi such as Candida albicans and other species. The antifungal properties are attributed to the presence of compounds like ellagic acid, gallic acid, and other glycosides. Candida's pathogenicity in the oral cavity relies on its ability to transform from a harmless yeast to invasive hyphae, which creates a protective barrier against drugs and cell plasticity, allowing for morphological and genetical changes. Other factors including overexpression of expel pumps that expel drugs from the cell and the production of virulence factors such as secreted enzymes that damage host tissues, facilitating fungal inversion and persistence despite the presence of antifungals. A number of laboratory methods can be used to evaluate or screen the in vitro antifungal activity of Siddha preparations. The number of researchers have already evaluated antifungal fungal activity of many Siddha preparations. In my study, erga well diffusion assay of Andrew was used to evaluate antifungal activity of Siddha herbal mouthwash preparation, namely Padiharanir, Panchadarbi Kashayam, and Masikainir. The use of natural products as medicines had been described throughout the history, still being unidentified. Medicinal plants contain several phytochemicals such as flavonoids, alkaloids, tannins, and terpenoids, which possess antimicrobial and antioxidant properties. By the conclusion, the study was conducted that antifungal activity on the microorganism of Padiharane was markedly higher than the Panchatvaipi Kashayam and Masikainir. Only Padiharane was exhibited antifungal activity against Candida albicans. Present study indicates that the plant contains antifungal compounds when further developed can be used as antifungal phytomedicine for oral diseases. Future scope, the most active fraction of the herbal preparation can be subjected to isolation of the therapeutic antifungal and undergo further pharmacological evaluation. Hence, it can be used to discover bioactive natural products that may serve as a lead in the development of new products. Identification of the active components and clinical trial using this mouthwash will have a greater benefit to the society. These are the references. This study was conducted in the dental faculty microbiology laboratory approved by the PGIS University of Peradeniya. I would like to take this opportunity to express my immense gratitude to all those persons who have their invaluable support and assistance. The director, the Postgraduate Institute of Science, University of Peradeniya, senior staff, technical officer, Mrs. Damanda, Division of Microbiology, Faculty of Dental Sciences, University of Peradeniya. Thank you for your valuable time.
Yes, Dr. Rohini, very good and important presentation. Is it your MSc or any postgraduate study work?
Yes, madam. My MSc study.
Okay. This Padiharini decoction, that medicine normally you are using in oral?
Yes, yes, madam. We are normally using for the pediatric purpose and as well as the geriatric purpose for the oral thrush or oral diseases.
Okay, nice. Dr. Kishani?
Yes, madam. Doctor, why you are not taking a negative control? As I see, you didn't
Yes.
take a negative control, no?
Yes, yes, madam. I didn't think that time. In future, I will use negative control also, madam.
Yeah, I think it's better if you take.
Yeah. Better results we may.
Ketoconazole or something you have made, no?
Oh, this is a positive control?
Positive control.
Yes.
Add distilled water or something you can use as a
we may
control,
use,
no?
Yes, madam. Finally, also we discussed about the negative control. That's why I didn't include this.
Okay.
Okay.